eternal and perfect child of God. In the journey of love, which is truly no journey at all, since you are already that which is. In this non-journey, you can accept in this moment. You have the power within you to accept that only love is the truth of all life. Harmony, peace is love. Endless, constant, perfect. And eternal. No beginning, no end. The mind that made time can't conceptualize of no beginning and no end. Because in the rules of the world it says there has to be a beginning and there has to be an end. Everything has a beginning and everything has an end. But in the laws of God, the laws of life itself, eternal life, there is no beginning and no end. And yet, that is. And within that eternal is all life, all existence, all perfection. In every moment, which is complete in and of itself, what some speak of as the holy instant, some speak of as the now, all life is. Again, the mind that made separation can't conceptualize that everything is this. Thank God we don't need our minds to conceptualize anything. The willingness to accept and invite love as if it wasn't there. Even that is a temporary relationship. Why is it necessary? Only from the belief that you are not that. You are not everything of perfection. And while there is a belief that you are not everything of perfection, it is most helpful to use acceptance to recognize choice and to surrender into the power that you actually are but have forgotten. All of love serves that acceptance and serves you're remembering. Because joy and peace are what you are within that love, within that moment, within that eternal. And while you believe that you are separate and believing in limitation, separation, and death, joy is not available. It's clouded over. It's hidden from your awareness. So love keeps calling while it's necessary, while it's helpful, while there is a forgetting. To embrace the comfort of all of love's blessings and all of the grace of love is to accept help. Not because you are a victim, not because you are incapable, but because you've forgotten the way. And the road is hidden in the forgetting. The truth is hidden behind a veil that has been self-implemented. And love says, let me help you. God says, let me help you. All divine beings say, let me help you. Let me help you to recognize there is no me and there is no you. And return to the oneness. Even though you've never left. But when your mind believes and what you see is a perception of separation, you are just temporarily not available for that awareness, that joy, that peace, that harmony that you truly are. And so love answers that longing, that calling. The blessing of remembering that the power of God is here to serve you because of your preciousness, because of your perfection, because of being that light, that love. Love serves you. Not because you've earned it. There was never anything to earn. It is yours automatically. Love never denies the offering of love. And yet, love cannot rescue you. The belief of separation says, I choose. I chose to seek my own world and make it mine. And God waits patiently until the stirring of the heart is strong enough, powerful enough to get the longing to return. And every beloved that is consciously saying yes somehow has touched that longing within to return, remember, accept, and finally to rest in God. Having left behind, having dropped off all of the beliefs of battle, resistance, levels and degrees, and the belief of separateness that never existed. Love constantly shows the way through every sacred teaching. Love constantly shows the way. In every divine vibration that is truly here, being offered to you. And what is the discovery in love? That nothing ever happened. Nothing ever existed that wasn't perfect, whole, complete, infinite. And you rest. Rest in love. Rest in God. The mind that believes in battle, the mind that believes in difficulty, has suspicions and doubt. That belief in difficulty says, I have to prove, I have to win, I have to figure this all out. And at the same time that upside downness is occurring in the mind, there's a terrible, deep fear of love. The fear of love that is expressed in the world in every moment through some battle that beloveds agree is either righteous, right, or just inevitable. But none of this is reality. Imagine that you would step away from every concern, every idea of a conflict of any kind, and truly accept that there is nothing to defend, and just come back over and over again if necessary to just resting in God. That God, the power of the universe, is always supporting you, always there, sometimes in the form of divine beings that you can find an attunement with. But love is always there, whispering and calling you to rest, to trust. Resting is just relaxing. Imagine surrendering, and in this moment, choosing to surrender all perceived tension that might be being held. Every cell letting go. To begin with the body of relaxation can be truly helpful because of the belief that the body is who you are. And it's where you store the defense systems. They're not coming from the body, they're coming from the mind, but they're stored in the body. All reactions come through the body. All tension comes through the body. The tension is in the mind, but it comes through the body. And out of that habit, the calling is to make a choice, to choose moment to moment to let go. That there's nothing needed to be defended. That there is no enemy. And that you have done nothing wrong. The belief in separation says you're always right or wrong. Because the belief in right and wrong is so dominant in the belief of separation. But there is no right or wrong in love, in truth. So in the moment of resting, you can let go of right and wrong. You can rest. There's nothing that needs to be assessed. Then how do you walk in the world if nothing is being critiqued or assessed? But that you actually ask the Spirit of love, show me the way and truth in this moment. To remember the prayer constantly, I am here only to be truly helpful. Only truly helpful, which means I'm asking what that might be. It's not necessarily a doing of any kind. May have action connected to it, but it's not about engaging the doer, but rather letting your heart open and allowing that you will be the instrument of love, that you will serve love with what is most truly helpful in the moment. And the divine gift, the divine sweetness and perfection, that you don't know what that would look like or be like, but that love will show you the way. And remembering that in the prayer of love, you don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because love will direct you. And what a relief that is. The mind of separation would like to say to you, it's a dangerous place. because the ego's intention is to pretend that there is something to control. And you've been convinced in the belief of separation that there is a lot to control. And yet, there's nothing to control in love. I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do because love will direct me into what is most helpful. I am content to be right here, right now, wherever God asks me to be, calls me to be, and trusting that it is perfect and I can rest here, content. No disturbance necessary, no worry, no anxiety, because there is nothing needed for safety. You are being called to be undefended, and that recognizing that is where peace is. The recognition that you can be undefended, that you are truly undefended because there's nothing to defend. And that you will remember, you will heal as you allow love to teach you to heal, taking you into the everyday life and having your teacher with you, the divine teacher of love, always with you. How delicious, always available. Resting, resting, resting. Day by day, moment by moment, an opportunity to learn the way of love. Not with an agenda, not with an outcome, just resting, allowing, trusting, trusting in the power of God, trusting in the sacred teachings of love, trusting, moment by moment. And in this moment, the willingness to accept and embrace, as in every moment, that here in the infinite circle of love we are one. There is only one. The willingness to open to that infinite oneness, divine circle that never has a beginning or an end, infinitely one. And to affirm that this universe is all love, only love. The sanctuary is filled with love because love is all that exists. There is only one presence here. It is the life force of God. The willingness to sink, rest in that life force of God, to learn, to awaken to the life force of God, to meet the life force of God. The life force of God is all that you are. Within this life force of God, we live and move and breathe as one. You are already in the life force of God, but because you have forgotten, it seems like you're not there. And you believe in a separate existence. Beliefs are just beliefs. It doesn't make them real. It just makes them believed. when you give your beliefs to the truth of love and accept that you are all that is, that acceptance will have the power to transform and lift the veil that has been clouding your awareness. And the awareness of love will return peacefully as you rest. No need for battle, no need for disturbances, only love, only love. One of the gifts of returning to love is divine prayers that are offered by divine beings to help open the heart and open the mind back into reality. Allow the prayer of love to weave its healing light through your entire being as your heart opens to sing the truth of love and to tap into the longing of the heart for remembering. 1 minute to midnight and the sky is turning black. 1 minute to midnight and there's no turning back. I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going home to stay. 1 minute to midnight and my train is pulling in. 1 minute to midnight when my new life will begin. Love calls me home, love calls me home, love calls me home for good. 1 minute to midnight and the bells begin to chime. 1 minute to midnight and they tell me that it's time to turn toward the light, turn toward the light, turn toward the light of my home. 1 minute to midnight as I bandage up my heart. 1 minute to midnight as I let the healing start. I will receive, I will receive, I will receive my welcome home. The little boat is here. It is the love, it is the light. In this little boat, I travel, letting go and allowing. The little boat navigates through the path of love, the path of God, the path of innocence. Blessed Mother is guiding this little boat. I don't have to worry. I'm here in the little boat of love, resting. I surrender to the will of God. Lead the way, show me the way. To remember that in my heart, I am the kingdom of love. I accept the light, the love, the truth, and I rest. Vem chegando, vem chegando, vem chegando, vem chegando, a maquinha que vem chegando, a maquinha que vem chegando, é o amor à luz, é o amor à luz. Na maquinha que vem chegando, na maquinha que vem chegando, a Virgem ai me guia, a Virgem Mãe que me guia, a maquinha que vem chegando, a maquinha que vem chegando, vem abrindo o caminho, vem abrindo o caminho de Deus nosso Senhor, de Deus nosso Senhor. Me entrego, me entrego, me entrego, me entrego à vontade do Pai eterno, à vontade do Pai eterno. É o meu coração, é o meu coração. Eu sou renho de amor, eu sou renho de amor. These prayers of love, they break through the discontent, and they break through the doubt that it is possible to return to love by asking to return to love, and by surrendering all the blocks that have been made to pretend that love does not exist. As you allow moment to moment the guidance of love, love will continue to lead you quietly, gently into deeper, deeper awareness that you are home. You are always home. Awakening is the recognition of what truly is, and resting, resting. There I bow my head at the feet of every creature. This constant submission and homage of kissing God all over. Someday every lover will remember and join. Only there I prostrate myself against the beauty of each form and affirm the truth of love. For when I bring my heart close to any object, I always hear the beloved, the friend, the truth of God say, "Beloved, I am here." In the world of separation, it seems ridiculous to constantly submit and pay homage and kiss God all over. The ego would like to say, if you're spending all your time prostrated to God, paying homage to God, worshiping God, devoted to God, you can't live a regular life. And in the belief of what a regular life is, it's true. The regular life is the life of the past. The past says, I have to accomplish in this lifetime. I have to prove myself in this lifetime. I have to struggle and I have to protect and I have to earn. And I have to be cautious. There's no caution in kissing God all over. The heart bursts. And there's a realization within that you don't want to do anything else except embrace God all over and kiss God all over. And that every beloved who appears in your life that you used to believe was separate from you, you now just want to embrace them. And pay homage to the truth of love by offering them that love. This seems ridiculous in the world. Not very sophisticated. It's not cool. And it doesn't work on a resume. But love's blessings enter into every element of life as you allow it. When you surrender your life to remembering, when you surrender your everyday life to the purpose of learning to love, to truly love, not what the world has made of the name of love, but to truly love. When you've accepted this as the core of your purpose, then everything blossoms from that homage, that devotion, that love. And the world is no longer like the world of the past. The world opens to the true world, the world of peace, the world of harmony, the world of happiness, joy. No seeking, just being, resting. Forgiveness is the key to all joy, all happiness. Forgiveness is not anything that the world has ever known. It has nothing to do with the word forgiveness that the world uses. The world uses an idea of forgiveness that says, I'll be magnanimous and I will be superior to you and deem you forgiven for your sins. But they don't go anywhere. Somebody has just been believing that they could be better and forgive as if you did something to change something. Mistakes, errors are just a shift in perception. To truly forgive is to truly accept that there is nothing to forgive, that you have not changed anything of truth, which means you have never changed anything of the truth of who you are. And forgiveness is the key to happiness, because in every moment, in the belief of separation, you can forgive yourself and come back. You can forgive your assessments. You can forgive your opinions. You're called to forgive those because they don't mean anything. That's what you're really embracing. To forgive your assessments of the past, which could be 1 second past, 1 second before. But to forgive those assessments and opinions that bring reaction and bring disturbances of any kind, anything that is not peace and joy, the calling is to forgive as quickly as possible, to forgive yourself. Oh, I was mistaken. I was just mistaken. There is nothing to disturb. I'm willing to surrender and truly invite the healing of love into this forgiveness, that something was wrong, that something was a difficulty. How deep will the forgiveness go? It will go all the way to the core of your being. If you invite forgiveness, that you no longer want to hold the beliefs of the past, that you can be hurt, that you need to protect or defend, that you need to know and control something. When you surrender your eyes, your ears, your ideas, your needs, all surrendered. The mind builds. The mind of separation says, I know what my needs are. And a whole identity is built out of that. But the perceived needs of the belief of separation is to stay separate, is to stay protected and defended, when there's truly nothing to harm you. In that journey, of opening to love, it is essential to bring out of the shadows all the beliefs that have been made that are running unconsciously behind the veil. How many times have you had a reaction to something that you didn't even recognize came from a thought? Because the reactions are also stored in the body, in the energy bodies that symbolize separation. And so every time you perceive something with your eyes that are not the eyes of love, you end up seeing something from the past. It's like you have in your mind a warehouse of tapes, a warehouse of different movies that are all coming from your past life. And they're constantly being used in what you think you perceive. So that you actually believe that you're actually in the past. Because that's what you're remembering. That's what you're reacting to, is the belief that the past was real. All the past lives, all of the same. But in every moment is the opportunity to accept that forgiveness is the key to happiness. To forgive the reaction as quickly as possible and to come back to surrender and trusting I cannot be hurt. Even when the evidence that is showing up from the tape that's been running seems so authentic. There's a belief in this world that has been identified as PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. The trauma that you believe was you in the past keeps being remembered constantly and being brought into what seems to be this moment, but actually you're moving back and reliving the past. And all the reactions are part of that. This is why forgiveness is so essential. To forgive the past, to truly accept that it is not the truth of who you are, disowning it, not by compartmentalizing it into a forgetting, just shoving it away someplace, but truly surrendering it into the hands of God, that you want this to be healed. That you no longer want this old belief, whatever it is, to run your life. That you want to choose love. And that you need help to choose love. But that you are available and willing to surrender, truly surrender into the hands of love. What you are now willing to accept that was made up, a dream, an illusion. The mind would say, how could this be? I have scars to prove it. I have identity to prove it. I have family to prove it. I have a whole world that agrees with me. How can this be? But this is where faith comes in. This is where trust comes in. That if you take all of the sacred teachings from all of the true paths of love, you will see, not by the structure of it, but you will see that the same truths are aligned constantly in every path. Oneness, love, harmony, peace, joy. The road may look a little different from one path to the other of truth, but the truth is the same. The truth is, I must forgive and let go of the past, surrender the past into the hands of God, and forgive all of the identities that I gave to everyone in the belief that they were separate from me. To want to truly accept that if the divine teaching from the masters of love say, every beloved is your reflection, every beloved is the light of God, to accept that without battle, to accept it without hesitancy, to accept it without listening to the doubt that shows up to say, don't accept that. You'll be a fool. You'll be hurt. But every master that came onto the earth plane to demonstrate love and demonstrate truth, every master had the same basic teaching and showed the same basic way home. The beloved who was known as Jesus, the Christ being of light, had only one purpose, which was to show humanity, to help humanity to see the truth of love, which love has not really been spoken of before in the evolution of the belief of separation, and to demonstrate that he could not die, that he could not be hurt. And he did this for humanity just to show and demonstrate that eternal life continues, and that there was no one there that was the sinner that through their belief in hate harmed him, that he could not be harmed. That yes, the body fell away. Yes. To the world of the belief of dying, it looked like he died. But then he came to show that he was not that body, and that he was the eternal light, and he continued living, really living as the life of oneness. Every beloved master is as alive now as what looks like the past, because in truth there is no time, and in truth there is no death. So every beloved master is as vibrant, is as alive, just not necessarily in a body. But that doesn't change the truth of aliveness. And that's why the calling is always to surrender the identity of being a body, because it becomes and is the prison of limitation and separation. It is not needed. It is not at all needed. The distortion of believing that it is needed is actually where what really holds so much fear and so much distress and so much of a need for protection, because everyone who looks at a body can say, this is very tenuous. This could like go at any time. And parts of it could just fall off. And you can lose all kinds of elements of it. Well, there is no loss in God. There is no loss in the divine spirit that you are. Your divine spirit cannot be dismantled. Your divine spirit, who you truly are, because you are not a body. That divine spirit, which is in the oneness of all perfection, it's not an individual spirit in the sense of having an identity. It's the spirit of love. It's everything that is. And that spirit is using a body because of the belief of separation. And the spirit, in that sense, is asleep. That is the sleep state. That is what is being called to be awakened. You're not being called to awaken your body. You're being called to awaken your awareness, which is your divine spirit. To awaken to the spirit that is here now, that you are within. Your spirit, your divine spirit, the truth of who you are, the truth of the one known as Jesus, the Spirit, the one known as Buddha, the one known as Krishna, the one known as Kuan Yin, the one known as down, down, down the line of all divine beings, one Spirit, being used in different elements in order to awaken humanity's vibration of love, to awaken the spirit that is asleep, in a dream state, having a nightmare for the most part. And the first step of that nightmare is to surrender the nightmare of pain and suffering and accept a happy dream before awakening. Because it's so much easier to awaken from a happy dream than it is from the belief that there is a nightmare going on and you bring that fear with you. The happy dream says, thank God I'm not limited. Thank God I haven't really done anything wrong, bad. Thank God I can't be hurt. Thank God I don't have to believe anymore that I am lacking, or that I am damaged, or that I am separate in any way. The happiness of that begins to stir the heart so fully that you even forget the journey. And you begin to bow your head at the foot of every creature. Because you begin to awaken through the dream. You begin to awaken to the awareness that every creature is your divine self. It has no distinction. There's no distinction with what form looks like. There are no better and no worse creations. Within the form, past the form, is all love, all divine light of God. The form will fall away. The form will fall away of every flower. The form will fall away of every blade of grass. But everything is the divine spirit of God, waiting to be embraced and recognized. And the embracing is in bowing your head, bowing to the light in everything and everyone, not willing anymore to see them as your enemies. Enemies is a word that is purposefully used to be honest, that when we judge anyone as good or bad or right or wrong, as separate, we are holding them in a prison of our making. And the honesty says, I no longer want to hold anything or anyone, and I'm not going to assess anyone or anything anymore. If you forget, you forgive, you come back again. But you happily come back because there is no judgment in God. The only judgment is in your own mind. You have done nothing. To accept that is to accept the truth and to bow your head. This constant submission and homage of kissing God all over. You know, you could be sitting in a chair, still, not really moving, and you could still be kissing God all over with your heart, with your love. Doesn't need a body participation unless that's helpful. But it's really that learning to just rest in God. In the world of separation, there is a belief that your internal and external perceptions don't have anything to do with anything within, except it's that you believe it's all out there. And even your internal perceptions, you believe somehow that they are valid. But they are truly just the picture of your attack thoughts, shown outside and inside to you. The self-hatred of the belief that you separated and that you need to be punished is what is running. The self-hatred that says, I need to be punished. And every beloved carries the same element that says, I'm so terrified of being rejected. I'm so terrified of being alone, abandoned because of the belief of separation. I'm so terrified of it that I will close down and reject first so that I will save myself from being rejected. But there is no rejection in love. And to take that leap of faith and surrender everything into the hands of God and the willingness to follow, just following. This is why it has no purpose to try to spend your time changing the outside world. Because all of the pain and suffering is coming from the inside world of your mind. When you surrender your perceptions of what you think you see and what you think is disturbing, and you accept that only peace is truly real, you can rest in God and come back to that harmony and peace, the happy dream, instead of the nightmare. I rest in God. How powerful this place is that can be spent in every moment, resting in God, allowing the flow of love, allowing the power of God to move and to weave through the everyday. I rest in God today and let Him work in me. This is the surrender. Let Him work in you. Let Him have the vehicle. Let the light of God run your movement. Let the light of God run your thoughts. Give them all to God. Take these thoughts. I only want thoughts of God. I only want to see through peace. I rest in God today and let Him work in me and through me while I rest in God in quiet and perfect serenity. To try to attain peace without surrender is like being in the desert and trying to dig a well. Surrender is essential. To join with God is to surrender and to allow that light to awaken the spirit of love that is the creation of God. As you invite God, you invite your spirit to awaken, to join in the vibration of love with God, which is your natural vibration. And the power of God becomes the power of your day, becomes the every moment life. I'm here only to be truly helpful. I am here and I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do because love will direct me as I allow, as I invite, as I welcome that I am here to learn to love. I rest in God today and let Him work through me and teach me the way of love. I will offer peace today because peace is all that God can offer. I join in that peace to offer peace. And as I offer peace, I recognize and receive peace because the divine infinite circle of love is in its natural motion. As you offer love and offer peace, you recognize peace and you recognize love, and your heart expands and your being expands. Movement in love. The little boat is navigating, and I'm just resting in that little boat, returning to the kingdom of love that is in my heart. It's a simple journey of resting. It was never meant to be necessary to believe that you need to battle. You don't need to battle, it's just habit. The habit of right and wrong and all the rule books that have been written on how things should be and being good and bad and right and wrong, and they're all made up. Just keep coming back to resting. Resting, resting. And that there's nothing for you to do. There's nothing that the you needs to do. It's just allowing spirit. Opening to that divine communion of love that is within you. And connecting. And listening. And learning. Moment to moment. I rest in God.